Okay, hello everyone. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedules today to be with us here for this very exciting presentation, I hope for one and all. So it's great to see you, well, at least be heard, I guess, by everyone out there. And boy, I tell you, this presentation is called a Backstage Pass, a first look at VectorVest's Las Vegas investment seminar. We are delighted to be going out to lovely Las Vegas, hopefully for some temperate climate by the time we get there. But it's going to be great, and this is our flagship event. And it's going to be at the beautiful Venetian Resort and Casino, right there on the Strip. I've been to Vegas so many times, too many to count, more than 50, and that's literal. I tell you, Venetian is great. It's a great place to be. And of course, there's lots of fun activities for even the family if you decide to bring the family with you to the event. So just delighted to be here and talk to each and every one of you about it. We're not going to be showing any technique today. Being an educator, that pains me a little bit, just as much as it might pain some of you. But what we're going to be doing is getting your eyes on this event because it's a can't miss event. I mean, it really and truly is the best seminar that VectorVest has in our complete arsenal of seminars and events. So this is one you don't want to miss, and that's why we're here. We're in the business of changing lives, and this is an event that can absolutely change your life. So we're going to be talking quite a bit about that. The first question that naturally should come up is why go? I mean, that's, why go to the event? Why should you or hopefully any of your friends, maybe even family members, attend this event? And quite simply, it's to better secure your or their financial future, whether that be help put the kids through school, or retire more comfortably, whatever the playing field for you as an investor happens to be. This is an event that can get that job done. And so for many of us who went before you, we wanted to learn how to do more than just make ordinary average market returns. That's what this event has always been about. And so, we wanted to learn how to thrive, basically, and improve our quality of life. And so, it looks like we had a little bit of an audio problem there. I tell you what, at this point, it's worth restarting. So, no big deal. Let's do it. All right, guys, hold on a sec. All right, so thanks everyone for taking time out of your busy schedules today. It's great that you have an opportunity to be here. I know with all the things to do these days, it's not easy, sometimes to be in the right place at the right time, but you are in a very good place right now. This is a wonderful presentation called a Backstage Pass. It's a first look at the upcoming VectorVest's Las Vegas investment seminar, 2-day seminar. That will be right there on the Las Vegas main strip at the lovely Venetian Resort and Casino. Super excited to be going back. Again, been to Vegas so many times, too many to count at this point. But let's just say more than 50. That's the real number. I did count at least that far. But, the Venetian is one of the places I've stayed at before. It is a beautiful casino. We'll talk a little bit about that. I mean, that's not the highlight of things. It's just nice that it's going to be at a great place to be on the Strip. But more important, this is our flagship event. I mean, this is the number one event that VectorVest teaches. This is the event that can absolutely change your life. It's the strongest event that we have in our complete arsenal of events that we teach. And so we're excited for this opportunity just like you are because we love to teach it as well. But this is an event you do not want to miss. And I want you to go there live because it gives you a chance not only to communicate and see us, but also see a lot of our power users and get a lot of experience from them there at the event as well. And it's a great community to be involved with. And boy, we'll talk a lot about this event as we go. But that is a major benefit, is being able to rub elbows with a lot of our big time subscribers that have been with us an awfully long time and will surely be there. All right, so let's take care of some business here. The first thing to take care of is why go? I mean, that's the obvious question. And so why should you or any of your friends or family want to attend this event? Well, quite simply, to better secure your or even their financial future, whether that be just put the kids through school or whether that be, retiring more comfortably, whatever the case might be for you as a particular investor in the stock market. And for many of us who went before you did, right, we wanted to learn how to do more than just sort of keep our head above water and get ordinary average stock market returns, like just buying a little bit of the S&P 500 every month. I mean, that's the conventional wisdom, right? And boy, I tell you, when you learn VectorVest, you can way improve over that. So that's what this event is all about. We're going to be talking about all the different ways that we're going to be teaching folks how to do that at this event. I'm not going to be teaching any technique in this. That's what the 2-day event is for. It's more so my job right now is to get you there, because we understand that if we get you there, that we got subscribers for life. I mean, that's been our experience. And so it's important that we take some time out to try to get you there. That way you can learn how to do techniques like this one, where you make money year after year after year, even really for the most part, month after month after month on most occasions. So, it's a tremendous opportunity to learn how to do techniques that can have this kind of potential returns in the stock market for you. Now, the problem that often gets in people's way, aside from being very busy, they say the older we get, even when we start to retire, we're busier than ever, right? The obvious problem outside of that one is getting buried by too much information. So this day, like no other before it, I've been saying this for a dozen years now or so, but it seems truthful that it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And that is, we just keep getting inundated with data. We're getting overloaded with social media now, and adding that to the kitty. It was already bad, right, with the investment newsletters and the TV personalities and all this other stuff. And now, boy, social media adds that final element where we just feel like, oh my gosh, there's so many different ideas here. What do I do? And so we want to avoid that. We want to avoid getting buried. And what we want to really do when we get rid of that mistake is then avoid these complicated strategies. For whatever reason, people find value in complication. I mean, I can remember teaching some events in the past where people would come up to me sort of either at lunch or after the event or whatever and show me like this 24-page document on what they do every day. And I'm thinking to myself, my gosh, this is worse than a full-time job. I mean, what are we doing here? Investing in the stock market does not need to be complicated. In fact, for me personally, truth be told, after 25 years of doing this successfully, the less complicated your plan, often the better. And so we're going to be talking about the 3 things in every investment plan that have to be there. And we might sweeten the pot with 1 or 2 additional things from time to time. But, 24 pages, single-spaced, that's too much. And so let's avoid overcomplicating things, and let's focus on keeping things simple, because that's how we're going to fix it. We're going to fix it by following simple, proven, though, systems and sticking to them. Realizing that even the best systems, making money 8 months out of every calendar year is a significant achievement, right? So no system out there makes money every month. At least I haven't found one yet. And I've been extraordinarily successful, So it's finding one that's simple, finding one that works for you as an individual. And that's the value in VectorVest, is it's not this one method, one size fits all. We have the ability to cater to investment goals and objectives and style, right? And temperament. And so we're going to be showing several different ways that folks can get all the way to where they're trying to be financially. Whether you're in late stages of retirement or whether you're just now graduating college, there's going to be some great opportunity at this event. And so what we're going to really focus on is at VectorVest, we've really upped the game, over the last couple of years. And what we do now is we get in front of people as often as possible. We have great coaches that are the best in their categories at getting people on board with the right systems for them. And so we're going to talk an awful lot about the systems themselves, of course, but also how you can continue to get, continual coaching to go with that to make sure that you stay on track. And sometimes you just need that coach to keep inspiring you to do it, right? So whether it's just to keep the inspiration up or whether it's to make sure that you're doing things the way you're supposed to be doing them, the coaches are going to be there for you. So that when we start talking about successful investor with Todd Schaefer, for example, we're going to try to achieve about 15% returns on a yearly basis. And for the most part, Todd's been able to achieve that. And it's the easiest, simplest, surest way in VectorVest that anybody can make money is with the successful investor approach. And that's looking for good, safe, undervalued stocks, rising in price, high relative safety values, and just letting all of those players do the work for you. And it's, I tell you, once you start doing that, it's hard to ever let go. I've still got a significant portion of my portfolio. Even though I've learned all this stuff, over the years, I've got a significant chunk just in the VectorVest simple type methodology. And, that's one thing to talk about as we go through this as well is some of us, particularly as we get larger and larger accounts, start to branch out and do a couple of the techniques, not just any single one. And so I've got a good chunk in successful investor, and then I like to kick it up a notch with some options and some swing trading, for example, right? So anyway, this is the successful investor approach. You're going to learn all about it there and the expected rate of return that we like to achieve. We can't guarantee anything, but that we've been able to do so far is 15% a year, okay? In terms of retirement services, now this definitely has a little bit more rules to it, of course, because we're really trying to achieve three things. And all of that is not depicted on the slide even, but we're trying to still get really strong capital appreciation, just like with successful investor. But on top of that, you're after really good, solid dividend and dividend growth, really. I mean, you're looking for not just high yield, you're looking for dividends that can continue to pay more and more yield over time to you, growing dividends. Right, and so that can also create some income for you by way of those quarterly dividends. Now, on top of that, because we no longer live in the days of the yield premium where dividend yields are running 8, 9, 12, or sometimes 16%, I didn't experience that. I wish I had. Well, I don't know. There's two sides to every coin, right? The economy was, of course, not quite as strong back then either, but 16% yield sounds pretty good. But so you don't get those kind of yields anymore, right? You're lucky to get a really good one that pays 4.5 these days. So for a lot of us, that's not an income necessarily that we want to live the lifestyle that we truly want to have with, right? So on top of that, we also teach options income and even how to use options to secure this portfolio when times get really turbulent and we get into, particularly if we ever get into a bear market scenario. My goodness, it's been a long time since we've seen one, but surely there's one coming at some stage. So you'll learn how to not only generate more income with options, but also how to make your retirement portfolio what we call worry-free. And options are a great way to do that. Okay, so you'll learn all about those techniques, more specialized strategies that are going to produce not only the growth you're after, but also the income that you're trying to generate. Okay, and then, boy, I tell you, we need to update this slide for sure, I think. Usually, it's been a month since I've updated this one. Usually when that happens, Jerry's already climbed another 5 or 6 or 8%. But 28% as of the time we took this last screenshot, which I think was in July. And this is a swing trading portfolio. And Jerry's D'Ambrosio is going to be there with us, and he's going to be going through the methodologies for swing trading that have gotten the bulk of these returns. When you get involved in these coaching groups, you'll also learn some additional things, but there's 2 really great techniques that he's going to be highlighting at this 2-day that, again, achieved largely the result that you see here, which is terrific because he's not going to cover off the ball. And did so, I think last year was about 48%, when the year was done. So he's on track maybe to beat that this year, which is phenomenal. All right, on top of that, let's talk a little bit about the 2 days. And I'm not going to go all the way down into the depths of each discussion. I'm more so just going to try to break it up for you so that you have a little bit of knowledge on how the whole seminar is going to roll out, okay? So again, Venetian Resort, September 2021, 2025. So it's right around the corner. I mean, my goodness, we're a month away. That time is just flying by, guys. It's just flying by. My goodness gracious, a month away. Okay. Morning of day one. This is a Saturday and Sunday event. That's a new thing for us here at VectorVest as well. I can't remember the last time we did a Saturday, Sunday event, but it really gives everybody no excuse not to get there. So morning of day one on Saturday morning on the 20th, we're going to really just be kind of setting the stage for the remainder of the event, but also teaching the most important core principles as it relates to successful investing. So morning of day one is really all about successful investing at the end of the day, and making sure you understand these key principles. And that way you have a solid foundation of VectorVest, and everything else is just a bonus. This is the stuff you have to know. You have to know this stuff, no matter who you are and what you're going to be trying to accomplish, because bits and pieces of this roll into all the other coaching offerings one way or another. So this is your foundation. This is where we start. And if you're new to VectorVest, this is really the piece that you want to focus on. Or if you're somebody who's been with VectorVest, but for whatever reason, you haven't made it to an event yet, or you just haven't really conquered the core beliefs that VectorVest has, this is where you want to focus your time. Okay. When we get into the afternoon, things get a little bit more specialized, particularly with ETFs, because ETFs have become a huge thing. Huge. The growth is extraordinary. I think the market makes up about $10 trillion per annum these days. That is an astounding number. I can remember when Dr. DeLito and I were down at II in Orlando, Florida, and we were talking about contra ETFs, and people were looking at us like we were on the moon or something. ETFs were fairly common at that point, but contra ETFs, people were like, "What? What is that?" I can't remember what year that was. My goodness, it was probably close to 20 years ago. Anyway, it was, contra ETFs had just come out about a year or so prior to that. But I'll tell you when it was. It was 2008. It was 2008, and that was shortly before. In fact, I think he wrote it that weekend. He wrote the essay that said, "Do not be deceived by the endless parade of experts who will appear on TV and other places telling you to buy stocks. Now is not the time to buy stocks. This could be the entree to a long bear market." That one back in 2007, I guess maybe it was actually. But in any case, a long time ago. But in any case, we've come from that to, there might at some point here, it seems, be more ETFs than there are stocks. You've got like leverage on individual stocks now and everything. Different varieties, ones and twos. Anyway, we're going to be talking about all of that stuff, the sort of the ETF landscape, where it's going, and also displaying some of the techniques that we have that just cater to ETF trading as well. And that could be one way to break up a larger account size, is to move some money in that direction, because you'll be really surprised if you don't know already at how well some of these systems are doing. And so, it's that part's going to be worth your time. The end of that morning, we get things way more specialized, and we start talking about congruent strategy with market situation. So, identifying what kind of market you're in, whether it's a bottoming or a topping or a trending type of a phase, and then ensuring that you are picking strategies that are consistent with the behavior that you're observing. That's really what that tailoring your strategies to the market presentation is all about. So it's one where, every so often you get into specialized situations where markets get really oversold, and you might want to attack things differently. In fact, you do want to attack things differently at that time. And you might get into situations where markets get really overbought, right? And everything in between. So we go through that on end of day two as well, or day one, sorry. Day two, morning, we get right into retirement services, hit the ground running with that, and then showing more and more technique on how to generate income. Ron Wheeler's going to be there, and he's going to be doing the strategic options income generation presentation, which is terrific if you haven't seen it already. And I know many of you have not. which is why we're trying to get you to go to Vegas. So Ron's really great with options. I've met a lot of great options trainers and educators over my 25 years, and Ron's right up there with the very best. He's really, really good at what he does. So we're delighted to have him on board, and he's no stranger to Vegas either, I understand. So we're gonna have a tough time figuring out where to go where we haven't been before. All right. Afternoon of day 2, really, it starts just before lunch with this, but we start turning the page towards swing trading with the near perfect indicator, and then a couple of other tactics that Jerry's going to be sharing with us there for the swing trading side of things. Okay. Really, near perfect indicator can range from position to swing, depending on how you use it. But, all of that will be on display at the show. And that's really it. I mean, at the end of the day, there's plenty of technique there to learn from. There's plenty of technique that, it can be all that you do. NPI can be all that you do, near perfect indicator. Jerry swing trading techniques can be all that you do. The retirement coaching can be all that you do. Successful investor can be all that you do. Or you could decide that you want to do more if you've got a larger account, and everything in between. But each of them has a lot of value. Each of them will give you better than market returns. And, each of them is a great opportunity for you. And so this is a place to go, learn it, ask questions, rub elbows with people who are doing it that aren't even us. And so we would encourage you to get to Vegas so that you can maximize that opportunity. Learn from us, talk with us, ask questions, talk with people who are already doing it. That's the huge reason to go. Okay. So old Abe Lincoln once had a pretty good proclamation. Well, this is probably one of his weaker proclamations, I suppose. But he once said this. He said, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I'd spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe." And I had run across that back when I was in high school and kind of used that as some inspiration to get comfortable with doing the work that's required to be successful. And what he's saying here is, in order to be prepared and ready, sometimes you got to do a little bit more preparation than what you're getting ready to execute, right? And so I have the best value proposition. It's better than Abe's. He's exchanging 4 hours for 2 hours of work, 4 hours learning for 2 hours of work. What I'm exchanging for you is 2 days of learning for the rest of your life. And so it's a far better opportunity. It's the best value proposition you're ever going to get. Because if in 2 days we can teach you to do better than average market returns, you are set for life, for the rest of your life. So when I say we change lives at VectorVest, that's what I mean. If you go here and you get yourself into this position, it will change your life. What I can't do is make you want to do that. That's the only thing I can't do. We can show you how to do it, but you got to want to do it. You got to want to go here. You got to want to take the 2 days to learn. You got to want to improve your life. You got to want to get better than market average returns. All you got to do is want to get to Vegas. We'll take care of the rest. All right, so we got a great team. You can see some of the presenters here. We will have at least one additional coming. Ryan Shook will be there with us as well. But it's going to be a great team. We're more than capable of giving you the information that you're going to need. Todd Schaefer will also be doing a Successful Investor, I think from offsite. All right, here is the beautiful Venetian Resort. It's spectacular, isn't it? Don't want to make a huge deal about this. The gondola ride is a highlight if you're bringing a significant other. It is spectacular. And having been to Venice, it is odor-free and possibly more beautiful than even some of the gondola riding over there. All right, so we got the offer for you. I'll get to questions here in a sec, but there haven't been so many so far, so that's good. $95. $95 for 2 days to change the rest of your life. I'm going to say that again. $95 for 2 days to change the rest of your life. That worth repeating one last time. $95 for 2 days to change the rest of your life. That is if you don't get caught up at the tables and lose 20 or 30 grand while you're there. Assuming you don't do that, you're going to be in good shape. Normal price is $500. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not sure the $95 covers one day for you being there with us in terms of our costs. It really doesn't. And Vegas is shocking. The numbers there are absurd. But you know what it is, we realize that if you are willing to commit just this very small amount of money, you're very likely to show up. You know, anything that's for free, generally we sign up for lots of stuff that are free and don't ever give it the time of day, right? So it's just this little tiny nominal cost just to get you there and make sure that you come. That's really all it is. That's really the only reason it's there. Be free. But I would encourage everybody to go because, again, it's not even just meeting us and asking us questions and learning from us while you're there. It's also meeting some very important VectorVest subscribers that have been with us an awful long time. And I know a few that are already going to be there that you want to rub elbows with, learn, talk with them, see how they're doing it. And it's not ever going to be necessarily different than what we are already teaching you, right? It's just now you're hearing it from somebody else and somebody else who's in the same position as you, right? And you just sometimes feel a little bit more comfortable with that. So I'm giving you that as an added reason to think about going live. And that's it, man. I got nothing else to say. We're going to keep this short and sweet. We're not teaching anything here, so I'm not going to keep you here any longer than I think we need to. I made about as strong of a pitch as I'm willing to ever give because I think that this is the event to attend, bar none, of any of the events that we teach. And I am near and dear to a lot of the trading ones because, we spent a long time putting all that stuff together, and Jerry did a great job. But, this is the event. And some of that other event is in this one, to be honest, right? This is the event. This is the one you don't want to miss. This is the one you want to go to live. We're going to have a lot of fun while we're there. And we do envision spending some time with our subscribers outside of the event itself when at all possible. To help build community. Okay, so get to Vegas. We hope to see you there. Thanks for being with me here today. And Brian says worth every penny. Brian's one of those guys. I'm hoping Brian goes. Yeah, it better be worth $95. You know it. I'll be honest with you. This thing could be worth $95,000 and it would be worth going. Okay, that's real. I'm not even joking. So get to the event. Go. Stop thinking about it. Go to VectorVest.com/Vegas and sign up right now. Do not hesitate. Do not stop. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Get to the event. We'll show you how to collect $200, more than $200 a week. All right. We'll see you soon, guys. Good luck out there. Good luck. We'll see you soon. Good luck, guys.